Howdy, y'all. So it's been forever since I've posted a video, which I'm really sorry about. I didn't intend to just disappear for a couple months. Life just kind of got in the way, and things happen, but whatever. I'm back, and since I'm back, I figured I would share with you guys my opinion and what I think so far regarding the latest Call of Duty Modern Warfare, which sounds really weird to say because there's literally 2 games with that title already, but you know what I mean. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2019 edition, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what we're gonna have to call it, at least at some point, so that's fun, but whatever. Even though I've been gone for God knows how long, there's not a whole lot of information out there regarding the game. There's really only a cinematic trailer, 2 random images from the multiplayer, I guess. I don't really know. And some random tidbits of information from Charlie Intel. And that's really about it. There's not a whole lot of information. It's pretty slim pickings, even though it's already June, which is kind of concerning, but regardless though, even though there's very limited information, I do have some opinions about the game and some predictions of how I think the game will turn out as a whole and how the public will receive it and yada yada. So yeah, let's get into it. So we mainly only know about the campaign, at least that's where all the concrete information is, and mainly what we've been hearing is that it's going to be offensive, more controversial than No Russian, which is the mission that you shoot civilians in the airport in MW2, and that it's going to be very gritty, and that it's so offensive that IGN reporters are calling for it to be censored or whatever. Now, the campaign is definitely something that I am excited for. Modern Warfare is the best campaign series, I would say, in Call of Duty. It's really the only campaign series that has a consistent chronological storyline. The Black Ops series, Black Ops 1 and 2 has, I guess, a consistent storyline, but Black Ops 3 and obviously 4 are just what the fuck, just random out there, not connected to anything really. So the Modern Warfare series is definitely near and dear to my heart when it comes to campaigns. It's the first campaign that I ever played, and I loved it. It was, heart-wrenching at times, and it was just a really good campaign. So I do have some high hopes and high expectations when it comes to Modern Warfare, but I also do have a little bit of skepticism as well, especially regarding the whole controversial aspect. I personally think that that's just hype. I really don't think it's going to be that controversial of a campaign, nor do I think that it's going to be censored. I think it's just hype to sell the game, quite honestly. I think Activision knows that Call of Duty fans want something real, raw, and gritty, and so that's why they're hyping up the campaign mainly, and I think the journalists as well are paid by Activision, or they're Activision shills at least, or they're plants. I don't know. I don't think those journalists are honest, which isn't really surprising to me. I know a lot of journalists that aren't, but, I think they're at least overselling how offensive it is, bare minimum. I think that it's going to be maybe a bit more offensive than No Russian, but not a whole lot, and I think that it's just going to be in a larger quantity instead. I think there's going to be 1 to 3 missions or so that are on par with No Russian when it comes to offensiveness and grittiness and whatever, but I think that's about it. I think the rest of the campaign is going to go as normal. It's going to be similar to the other Modern Warfare campaigns, and hopefully it's going to have some twists and turns as well, like Modern Warfare 2 had, and even MW3, so I'm excited for it. I do have a little bit of skepticism, but overall I think it's going to be a really good campaign. The only problem that I have with it, which isn't really, anything that can be solved, but it's just Captain Price's voice, man. I don't know, I'm the type of person that I really don't like when a character has a different actor or even a different voice actor. It just really fucks with my immersion. I just kind of get attached to that actor's voice and appearance, and I associate it with the character. So the fact that we have a new voice for Price is definitely a negative for me and something that does kind of kill my hype regarding the game. It seems a little petty, but it's important to me when it comes to storytelling, so that's definitely a downside. But other than that, it looks like it's going to be an enjoyable campaign, at least with what we know so far. Now, the next thing that I'm only going to touch upon for like a couple seconds really is Spec Ops. I'm not really a huge Spec Ops fan. I mean, I think it's a good, enjoyable game mode, but that's about it. I don't really have any sort of deep feelings towards it one way or another, so I think it's just going to be kind of the same to me. I think Spec Ops will be better in this Modern Warfare than in previous ones. I think they're going to try and expand upon it a lot more, so that'll be exciting, especially considering they don't have any sort of zombies mode to take away from their development time or anything like that. So I think it's going to be good, I guess. I don't really know. I'm not an expert on this. I don't want to pretend like I am or pretend like I'm some sort of Spec Ops fan. I do hope, though, that they have a survival mode. That was something I really enjoyed in Modern Warfare 3 that I really hope they do bring back because it was fun, you know? It was like zombies but people, you know? And I don't know, I really enjoyed it, so I hope they do stick that in there with Spec Ops as well. Now, the most important part of any Call of Duty game is, of course, the multiplayer. And it's also the part that we know the least information about. We know basically jack shit when it comes to Modern Warfare, which is kind of a little concerning considering it is June, but I will trust that it's not too big of a concern. It's just how they want to hype up the game. But overall, just general predictions, I guess, for the multiplayer is I think it's going to be significantly better than Black Ops 4, but at the same time, that's not really saying much, and I don't really know how much better it's going to be, because I'm really hesitant to have an opinion one way or another when it comes to the multiplayer in Modern Warfare, because part of me would normally be really fucking hyped about this game, especially because, you know, the nostalgia and all that, but another part of me is really hesitant and just kind of jaded from Call of Duty. And what I mean by this is the past like 4 or 5 Call of Duties have all been kind of disappointing and just not really my cup of tea. Definitely not the glory days of Call of Duty, that's for sure. So I'm just kind of tired of the process, I guess. Like, it just seems like every Call of Duty game for the past 5 years has gone this way. It's hyped up in the summer, woohoo, you know, it's gonna be a really good fucking banger, woo. And then the beta comes, and the beta isn't as good as everyone expects or hopes it to be. And then there comes the damage control, and it's like, it's just a beta, guys, it's going to get better, even though a lot of the issues and gripes that people have are usually core mechanics that can't be changed, or it's just too much that can't be changed. And then the game comes out, and it's a little bit better than the beta, granted, but not enough. And you play it for a couple weeks, you're kind of hyped, but you're also kind of like, is this really it? And then you just slowly stop playing it. And then March or April comes around, and that's usually when they release the most amount of content for any Call of Duty game. At least that's something that I've noticed. And the reason for this is because this is around the time where leaks will come out, and usually the name of the Call of Duty game will come out. And then a couple months later, May, there's some sort of trailer or some sort of announcement for the next game, and the hype train begins, and then rinse and repeat. And it seems like there hasn't been a Call of Duty game that's actually meant to be played for the whole life cycle, or that actually is played for the whole life cycle. And it's just tiring. I'm just kind of over it, you know? It's like, okay, like, I love Call of Duty and all, but not that much, you know? It's like how, you know, you get to a certain point with some like toxic members of your family where it's like, I love you because you're my family, but I don't really like you, you know? And that's just kind of how I feel my relationship with Call of Duty is at this point. So I don't know. Modern Warfare is kind of conflicting for me. I'm really happy, of course, like, woohoo, Modern Warfare, the series that got me into this shit in the first place. But also, like, I feel like they might ruin it, and I don't want that to happen either. But I don't know. At the same time, even though I've been fucked over from Call of Duty left and right for the past 4 or 5 years, I do still have some hope for this game because they have a new engine, and also because it seems like they've actually been working on it for a good while, unlike Black Ops 4, where there were rumors that they had to scrap the campaign like a year into it, so they wasted a lot of time. So that's kind of why it was an unfinished game, which was definitely noticeable to me. But I think that Infinity Ward is a more solid developer than Treyarch is, at least, especially when it comes to gunplay. I think the gunplay is going to be phenomenal in this game, especially with the new engine and all that, and also because Infinity Ward has always been better with hit detection than Treyarch. So I think it's going to be an enjoyable game, but I also don't think it's going to be a savior for Call of Duty. I don't think it's going to revive the franchise. I don't think it's going to kill Fortnite or anything crazy like that. I think it's going to get people who currently play Call of Duty interested, and they're going to be happy, but I don't really think it's going to bring in a whole lot of new players or be anything revolutionary, you know? I think it's just going to be a pretty good Call of Duty game, and that's really it, you know? Or it could be really bad, which I think this Call of Duty is kind of monumental in a way, in the sense that if this Call of Duty is bad, I think it's over for Call of Duty. I think from that point onward, it's just going to be a downward slope, and that's it. There's never going to be any chance for redemption. But I do think, even though I don't think this game is going to be a, you know, franchise, you know, maker or anything like that, I don't think it's going to bring back the glory days. Even though I think that, I do think it does have the potential of maybe in the future creating a glory days, I guess. Like, it'll be the turning point and an upward trend, if you get that. I don't know. That might not make sense, but it makes sense to me. Overall, though, I just think it's going to be an enjoyable game, but don't get your hopes up, and I know I'm not, and I'm not gonna buy it until I try it. That's number one. Call of Duty has, you know, fucked everyone over way too many times, so I highly recommend that even if you are hyped, even if you're excited about the trailer and all that jazz, wait. Don't pre-order yet. Wait until... Oh, shit. Wait until you've at least tried the beta and enjoyed it. Don't hop onto the train yet. You know, wait a couple stops. Another train will come through. I don't know. I'm not going to make an analogy, but you know what I mean. Just cool it, you know. Don't let them sell you nostalgia, which is what they're trying to do by calling it Modern Warfare instead of Modern Warfare 4. At least that's what I think. But yeah, that about does it. I'm sorry for this sort of long-winded rant, but, you know, it's an important game to me, and I have a lot that I think about it, even though there's not a lot of information, so that just gives me even more reason to ramble. But yeah, that about does it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and comment down below what you think about Modern Warfare. Are you excited? Are you hesitant? Let me know. And yeah, that about does it. I'll see you all next time. And I promise I will not take months to upload. It'll be less than a week, I swear.